Hello, and thank you for joining me for the Module 5 library budget discussion. Starting with book vendors, the three that I chose to use for my budget are Tidal Wave, Scholastic, and Permabound. Tidal Wave is a great vendor to use, especially if you are a brand new librarian. It's very easy to use as it links right in with the Destiny Catalog program. You're able to see what books you already do have, and Tidal Wave also provides reviews for librarians to read and get the best information about the books that they're ordering. I decided to put in this budget new books that were not in the current collection. Some of the books that I chose were a lot of the books that were introduced to us during the Book and Build for Makerspace Mentor Text. I live in the state of Maine, so the state of Maine has a student choice award called the Chickadee Award. So I put all those nominees for the coming year on my list as well. I also added some books that our second grade teachers were looking for to help support their students in an information animal writing unit. And I also put on some student books that kids were interested in, and it was able to look up the reviews in those books and see if they were appropriate for our library. Another great thing about Tidal Wave is the fact that you can get processing done for your books, and that saves a lot of time for the librarian who's working by themselves. The next vendor I chose was Scholastic, which is a great way to get a lot of inexpensive books. If you hold a book fair and you have the opportunity to do that, you can earn Scholastic dollars and bonus points with those book fairs, so you can buy even more books. However, Scholastic is a little different from Tidal Wave. The books are not processed for you, so you do have to take the time to do that. But it does allow you to buy a lot of books, and perhaps instead of putting them into your library, it's a great way to provide free books for students to take home. Okay, and the third book vendor I chose was Permabound, which has a great collection of books, and these ones are a little bit more rugged than books you might find from the other vendors. These are perfect for those well-loved titles that need constant repair because they're constantly going out. So I put books on my budget list that are super popular with the students at my school, like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, all the Pigeon books, basically any kind of Mo Willems book, and Mercy Watson. These books are very well loved and are circulating constantly. So if I were to get more multiple copies and stronger books, I think that's going to help in the long run. Okay, moving on to furniture vendors, I chose Warren's Office Supply, School Specialty, and the Library Store. Warren's Office Supply is a local vendor that our district uses, and in my library I had some really old tables that were falling apart, so I chose to use a good chunk of the budget to order some tables. And the way they work is that I buy the tabletop separately, and then I have the legs. And luckily, though, when they deliver, which is great, and it's pretty quick, they also put things together as well. So they're a great partner in our community to work with. Okay. School Specialty is a vendor that is also used by our district, and I've used it as a classroom teacher for many years and decided that I would use it for buying some furniture for the library, some wiggle seats that I think providing some flexible seating for kiddos in the library during story time, as well as during makerspace time or activity time, as well as purchasing some browsing shelves for my students in the younger grades, kindergarten and first grade. They come in and it's a little bit easier for them to search and browse and choose books when they're facing out. So that's one of the choices I made from School Specialty. And then I also checked out the library store, which noticed had really great shelving for younger students. We are starting in our district this year, actually. We started having preschool classrooms in our schools, and all the specialists, including librarians, are going to be pushing into the classrooms. So I thought it would be great to have a mobile cart to bring some books down to the preschool classrooms for them to browse and enjoy. So I thought this was a great choice for doing that and providing library services for and programming for our littlest students. Okay. Moving on to supplies and decor, I chose Demco, Amazon, and Really Good Stuff. Okay. Demco is the place to go for those library specific supplies. One of the supplies that I would definitely order each year is, you can see that I Love Books picture right there. Those are some inexpensive plastic bags that I will be using with kindergartners who are just taking books home for the first time. It's just a little extra added bit of protection for taking those books and putting them into backpacks. So that's one thing that I would purchase. And then I would also purchase the necessary materials for repairing books, like book tape and Mylar film to recover any book jackets that were ruined or ripped. I would also get myself a self-inking stamp that would provide the name of the school, so when I'm processing books, I can add our school name to them. Demco is also the place for the great labels, especially if you're deciding to genreify your library, which I am in the process of doing, as well as providing laminating film to cover those soft cover books, especially the books you're probably getting from Scholastic, to make them last a little bit longer. So Demco is definitely a great place. The website's really easy to use and has a lot of unique things specific to libraries. Okay, Amazon is also another go-to for comparison shopping for some of those more inexpensive products. Like I said earlier, am going to be working with preschoolers next year, and that is not in my experience. So I found a great little transforming preschool storytime guide that I hope will be helpful in planning story times and activities with them. I love cardstock. I use it when I'm making signs for the library to make books more easy to find. So I'm constantly needing white cardstock, needing colored cardstock to make those signs. A tape dispenser, looked on Demco, it was pretty expensive, so took a peek over at Amazon and found something that was a little bit more inexpensive because making book repairs, that tape dispenser is just going to be super easy to use. Labels of all kinds. I label bags, for those kindergarten students, label shelves, all sorts of things. So Amazon definitely has a plethora of different kinds of labels. And I'm constantly laminating, have my own little laminator. So I'm always buying the laminating sheets. It's just a way to preserve those signs that I'm making, and taking a lot of time to make to create better signage in the library. And Really Good Stuff is a site that I used when I was a classroom teacher. It's such a great place for decor and bins of all shapes, sizes, and colors. I hope to purchase some bins that are good for browsing. So students can just kind of flip through the books rather than put them spine out. I noticed that students really do choose the books that they can see the covers of. So I'm hoping to kind of employ that at some point, and purchasing these bins in different colors and at a pretty inexpensive price is super helpful. Really Good Stuff also provides some great materials to make all those bulletin boards and displays that change constantly in the library. So those are some items I would be purchasing from this site as well. Moving on to Makerspace. Supplies. There is a vendor called Roots Reusable Resources, hard to say, Oriental Trading Company, and Makerspaces.com. So Roots Reusable Resources is actually a free company that our school district pays for our membership, and educators can shop for free donated items there, and they have just about everything that you could want, especially for maker spaces. They have tons of paper, they have little gadgets, they have school supplies, they have little bits of plastic that you can create all sorts of things out of, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful resource for teachers to use. Unfortunately, it's up here in Maine, not in Texas, but a lot of us teachers and staff do go there frequently to check out the different items that are there, and they change frequently. So sometimes you get great luck, sometimes not so much, but it's always fun to check and see what you can find. Oriental Trading Company is such a great place to get whole class activities and inexpensive craft materials like perler beads, which you need a lot of. And my students love bookmarks, so I would purchase lots of bookmarks to color, and those are the ones they find they love to pick the most. I like to use Play-Doh with maker spaces for kindergarten and first grade, and the Crayola dough is perfect. It's super soft and lasts a long time, and I would just add in some of those little self-adhesive foam stickers. And speaking of Play-Doh, my kiddos really want those Play-Doh rollers. Some of mine got broken, so I would add some of those into my budget. And then I discovered makerspaces.com, which is an online resource that has tons of ideas of non-tech makerspace ideas and links to where to buy those things. Things that I'm hoping to add to my makerspace collection would be just a lot of building materials like K'NEX and the magnet tiles. And then I saw there was this Make Do kit, an invent kit that has these wonderful little tools that you can use, and they're safe for kids to use, to cut cardboard and put cardboard together without having to use glue. So I thought that would be a great tool to buy and add to the makerspace. And then technology tools. I chose PebbleGo, Sphero, and Mackin. PebbleGo is a database or a collection of databases that we have used for years in my district, and I use it as a teacher. And I definitely want to continue to provide that for the classrooms in my school. So I would purchase the databases, and the plan that I hope to purchase would be the one that is just regular PebbleGo, and it's for K-2 students. And then I would get an extra add-on, which would be PebbleGo Next, which would be more appropriate for 3rd through 4th grade students. And it provides a great section on the American Revolution, which is one of the things that our 4th graders do a lot of investigating. So I think that would be super helpful for them. And then we got a donation from the state of some STEM tools, and they were these Sphero robots, where we had got kits with this little Indy, which is a little car for younger students, and then Sphero, which is the actual sphere robot that you can code and give directions to. But we did not get any training for it. So I would go to the Sphero site, and I put in my budget, there is some professional development learning that I could do. And I thought that would be a great opportunity for me to learn some more about these great, neat little things to use. And then looking through Mackin, which has so much in it for people to order, librarians to order books and things like that, I focused mostly on the digital tools that it had to offer, basically ebooks, databases, audiobooks, and digital subscriptions. And one of the databases that I decided to put on my budget was Country Reports. Our 3rd and 4th graders do a lot of research in their writing units, and one of them is using doing research on a particular country. And my library at the moment does not have a ton of print resources for students to use. So I thought these Country Report databases would be a great tool for students to access. Okay, thank you very much for watching my video. And all in all, my budget got to about $9,900. So I think I met the requirement. And if you look at the links that I included, you can